Hello and welcoming you all to a video lecture series on creativity and decision making. I am Pavithra, working as Assistant Professor at Department of Management Studies (PG) at Dr. SNS College of Arts and Science. Today in this video we are looking on to a video lecture series on creativity and decision making. In so far in our videos we will be looking on to what is creativity is, what are the types of creativity, what are the various forms of creativity, what are the factors that influence creativity, and what is creative decision making practice, why it is more important for an organization to make sure and ensure to bring in a creative practices. And we were looking on to the factors that stimulate creativity. um, so we were looking all of these, and today in this video we were going to looking on to a most important topic in creativity and decision making, that is mental blocks. So factor that restricts creativity and creates mental blocks in giving a new input to an organization. So what is mental block actually? Your ideas. So mental block is actually something that restricts our creative imaginations. So we would be like to give an creative ideas to a problem, or we are in a urge to implement a creative ideas into a business. In that case, few factors would make us or restrict us from a creativity. So that kind of a thing is called as an mental blocks. Mental blocks is something that blocks our creative imagination. Our block in our mind is called as an mental blocks. For example, we would say that factors that implement scrutinize, or the factors that influence mental blocks are: one is being the personal problems in the sense, we people are in work, or we need to implement a new creative idea into our business. In that case, we would have some personal problems in our family, and that would reflect in our work. In that case, we would not have a possibility of implementing new and creative ideas, so our mind would not be so clear and routinized to give a creative practices. In this case, this would be a mental block. Secondly, the next mental block, the factors that influence mental block is being too routinized. Being too routinized also creates a mental blocks, because people may be, some few peoples may be like being too routinized. I will do this work at this time. Nextly, this work would be done. After this work would be carried on. The people would be too routinized, but in a workplace or in a business, it is not possible of being too routinized all the time. In some cases, there would be a sudden change. We have to implement a sudden change. In that case, the person who is too routinized and not able to flexible or adapt to the change immediately would be blocked there, and there a creative idea implementation of creative idea would be a difficult part. Next one is having burst outs. Some people being too emotional in a workplace, taking the work more serious, work and personal more serious, and being uh, too burst outing person, that would be a mental block. Next, poor communication, perfectionism. As I said, being too routinized and being so perfect also may create a mental block. And next would be not knowing what expected. So doing something rather than what is expected, so that would also create a mental block. We are not having a proper idea of what is this, what we have to do next. So these would be the factors that create mental blocks. So how can we overcome these mental blocks in creating a creative ideas? So that would be establishing a clear vision to each and everyone in an organization or in a team. So in my team, I would explain all of my team members that this is the practice, this is the objective. So this would be the different steps. We would be adapting these practices. So giving a clear idea and clear vision of what is what, so that that may reflect in a good creative implementation, idea implementation. And promoting continuous learning. People should be more adaptable and encouraged for continuous learning. So it is all about learning process. Business is all about learning process. So should be able to learn continuously, adaptable to new changes, new technologies, new implementations. So encouraging individuality, so encourage the peer members, encouraging everyone. So this would be creating uh, would help to overcome the mental blocks. So these are what the steps to overcome the mental blocks and creativity. In this video we have just seen a gist of what is mental blocks, factors that influence mental blocks, and how to overcome those mental blocks. In our next video we will clearly discuss each and every mental blocks, how to overcome those mental blocks, an example for how to overcome those mental blocks in our next video, in the part 2 of a video lecture series on creativity and decision making. Looking you will look you all back in the next video lecture series on creativity and decision making. Thank you all.